Committee for GMX. We're starting at 9:08. Do you want to do a roll call?
Yes, sir. Committee member Pages.
Here.
Committee member Perez.
Here.
Committee member Blanco.
Present.
Board treasurer Cancio.
Here.
Board member Iglesias.
Here.
Board member Peterman.
Here.
Board member Rigo.
Present.
Okay, very good. All right, so I want to start by giving a little bit of a framework on when we started to where we are now, the process and we've done, and what's still coming forward. I am very happy to see many board members present and engaged in the process. Confirmed to me, all the board members received items. Yeah, I just realized I got to go a public meeting. Everyone received all the material.
Yes,
They received all, so everything that we've seen, they received.
yes.
Perfect. That's
Legal
exactly
as
what I
well?
wanted to occur.
Okay.
Well, not everything that you've seen. I've not seen hundreds and hundreds of applications.
No, well,
I've just seen.
when I go through the process, you realize neither did we.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, and I'll explain in a second. Before I do that, I'm going to open it up for public comments since it's a public meeting. Does anybody wish to speak from the public? No. All right, so we'll close the public speak part. All right, that's a great question. And actually, let me go through the whole process. We started the process on April 10th on the direction of the governing board. Originally, we were planning on keeping it open 30, 60, depending on days. We ultimately left it open 90 days. In that 90-day process, we had over 1,091 candidates came in. 1,091 candidates applied from around the country. There were applications, I think, from almost every state, maybe not Hawaii or Alaska, but almost every state. There were applications. As you guys know, the Sunshine Law doesn't allow us to talk to each other. So the chairman has to take a lot of discretion on how the process goes and the process moves forward. And there were no meetings in between. So that's exactly what I did. My job was to provide, I believe, two very important components. One was to provide structure to the search, which there is no structure. We come up with our own structure, and encourage is the right word, as many candidates and as many qualified candidates to apply. And I spoke actually to a number of candidates who reached out to me directly, which I'm sure may have reached out to some of you reached out to me directly to speak to me. And my job was to encourage them to apply if I thought they were thinking. If they weren't, I still encourage them to apply, but they probably weren't there. We finally closed out the actual search on July 8th, a couple of days past July 4th to be able to get through the holidays. And on July 9 or 10, Michelle, HR, sent out the final list. None of us on the board, myself included, none of us saw that the original list. We don't know who applied in the pool of 1,091 people. That part was handled 100% by the HR department. And the first time that we saw the list of people was on July 9th or July 10th.
You mean this list that we saw here?
The 22, what we call the 22 qualified candidates. The first time we saw them was on July 9th. And then we went through a process of individually of reviewing those applications, those resumes, and then coming down to what we believe is the final 10. That was the process. Now, there's one issue that I need approval from the executive search committee. In my process of recruiting, in my process of bringing in people, making sure people come in, I had a subsequent conversation with Rafael Garcia, our intern executive director. He originally did not want the job, but through my conversations, and I tell you, it was 100% me reaching out to him saying, consider it. Why wouldn't you consider it the first time? He has since considered it and has applied for the job. Having said that, we originally had issues with the board saying, and I was the one driving it actually, saying he couldn't apply. So I'm gonna have to do this in reverse order of getting the approval of the executive search committee first to allow him to apply. And then on our next board meeting on August 14th, at the full board, I'll get the approval by the board, allowing him to apply and then enter the pool to allow then all 9 board members to make the decision on whoever they want. It is in my opinion that I want to bring in as many qualified people as I possibly can into the pool. And while we had his reasoning of not wanting to, I think including him makes sense. There's some very qualified people on this list, and I want to make sure that the entire board has the opportunity to pick and select them among all 10 or 9 or whatever we have. So if I can get a motion for that.
I will make a motion to allow Rafael Garcia to officially submit his application for review.
I second.
Okay. This is a strange meeting because there are members and non-board members, but at my discretion, I think I feel comfortable. Any board member, even if you're not in the executive search committee, to make any comments or discussion on this item. I don't have a problem with that because that's part of the transparency issue.
Yeah, and thank you, and I appreciate that. And it's interesting because I remember when we talked about that, and perhaps it was just my own impression that the fact that he's actually, in this position as an interim gives him a little bit of a competitive advantage over other candidates. And I thought that was probably the reason why we suggested that if we were going to move forward with a candidate that he could not apply because, but maybe there was another reason why you thought it was not appropriate for him to apply. Can you go back to what that reason was?
No, my original reasoning was that one. That's correct. That's correct. It was an issue of giving him an inside track to the process. But once we realized that we had over 1,000 applicants, and situation changes. His personal situation changed in the sense that at the time he made that decision, he didn't want the job. He had other interests, and then subsequently decided that it was good once I spoke to him. Also, situation changes politically and organizationally. The state is the state. I mean, one of the reasons that in full transparency, one of the reasons I opened it even further is I wanted to make sure that the session had closed up in Tallahassee to see if there's any elected officials that wanted to apply. Because in my opinion, and my job was to make sure that I opened it as wide as I possibly could and as wide as I possibly can. So people, minds change, situation changes. Does he have an inside track or does he have a thing? Well, that's up to individual. There's 9 members now. The other issue, by the way, is the fact that we have 9 members also now. It isn't just the original 5 and then 7. Now there's 9. So he could or could not. I mean, 4 of them don't even know him. So and that's fine. So I feel comfortable that, yeah, they know him, but I don't think he has necessarily an inside track to the job. There's some extremely qualified people on that list.
And the only other comment I would make is that I do think that it's great to make sure that we bring in folks that are qualified.
100%.
And so he definitely is one of the people that I consider as somebody who has the qualifications.
And that's exactly right. He just falls into that bucket. And I just thought it was wrong, even though I'm the one that drove it originally. So I do change my mind. People do change minds. That I don't include him. Any other comments?
I was only going to add as general counsel that from my notes from that board meeting that I looked back at when HR called and said that Raphael had interest in applying. The reasons I had written down that there was some discussion by the board that it would be better not to have an interim director selected who was going to apply because it may deter applicants and then there wouldn't be a big enough applicant pool. But by the time HR contacted me and just mentioned this, it occurred to me that there was an abundance of applications at that point. So the reasoning that I had at least had written down, I don't know if others, we could go back and look at the video, but that was the primary one I had written down. And that obviously that consideration had gone away by the time that he submitted an application towards the end of the process, because now we had an abundance of applications.
And just for the record, I did consult with general counsel on this matter to make sure that we were following a process that was appropriate. All right, any other comments?
No, I just want to say that, as far as, talking about competitive advantage, we also have folks on that list that are coming from an internal pool as well. So, on that note,
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, there's no further comments. Can we vote on this matter?
Just one more comment on my end. I wasn't involved with the prior discussion board member pages, but I guess from my perspective, just looking at it, kind of as an external party to the initial discussions, if he has changed his mind and he's qualified and the committee thinks he's qualified, then from my perspective, he should be part of the consideration in the pool. So just looking at it from my perspective, we do that in DOT all the time as well. We sometimes have to have interim, managers assigned to positions that ultimately want to vie for it permanently, and they get considered as well. So just from my perspective, I throw that out there.
Very good. All right.
And I also just wanted to make a comment, as I served as chair until recently, and I was in contact with Rafael, and he was not going to apply initially.
Correct.
And he called me and told me that you had approached him.
Mhm.
And he still wasn't going to apply because he had said that, look, I said I wasn't going to apply, but I'm being encouraged to apply. And I believe that and I said, how is this going to affect, your career at DOT? And I think he's checked with other people. They said, no, it's okay. You can apply. But we had conversations, and 2 or 3 times he said he really wasn't going to do it because he had said he wouldn't do it and how that would look to the board. But ultimately, you convinced him.
The entire hiring process for anybody, I mean, anybody on this list, and that's, by the way, one of the reasons we numbered the applications, because at this stage it's too early. It's a risk. It's a risk for anybody on this list, right? They all have jobs. They all have other things. They don't want to appear in a public situation where they're looking for a job. Rafael is no different in that process, right? He works within the FDOT structure, and he doesn't want to appear like he doesn't care about his job at the FDOT either. So there's a lot of things in play until you get some stability in the process. So I'm totally comfortable with this, and I'm hoping that the rest of the board is comfortable with this. So let's just at this stage, and then we'll bring it to the governing board later for approval at the next meeting.
So I made the motion to include Rafael Garcia. Do we need to, I'm sorry, Board Member Peterman.
Oh, of course, yes.
I know that there was a lot of discussion at that initial meeting, and listen, every single human being on the face of the earth has the very right to change their mind, whether it's you or Rafael or whatever. There was a lot of weight put on the fact that was one of the reasons why he was being considered for the interim position over other potential candidates. And so my interactions with Rafael have been nothing short of extraordinary, right? He's been super responsive. He's been super, concerned. He's very timely. He responds to any and all of my emails and requests. So my interactions with him have been great. And I didn't know him when he was appointed interim director, but I can say that all of my experience with him have been great. I'm going to give him full and complete consideration in this entire process because I think he's done a great job in the position. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, almost kind of like a bait and switch. That one thing was presented during the conversations for interim director, and now things are changing. Listen, and once again, he has the ability to change his mind. He's a human being. I understand that things change. Circumstances change, his mind can change, the same as yours in the whole process. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. It just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm going to spit the bad taste out and move forward. And I think I'll give him full and complete consideration in this entire process. I just wanted to kind of state that it leaves a little bit of that bait and switch, feel. And but I'm going to move on.
And I appreciate those comments. I appreciate them. I appreciate actually being very transparent, very open. about how you feel. And that's an important process. So it's part of the process. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, having said that, can we do a roll call?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Board Member Pages,
Yes.
Board Member Perez,
Yes,
Board Member Blanco.
Yes.
That's it.
Committee.
Yeah, that's fine. Because the governing board will
We'll
ultimately
have the
ratify and
final.
reverse the previous change, so that's fine. All right, so that covers that. So now let me continue. So right now we're at the stage of going from 1,091 down to 22, which is the package you guys had received. The executive search committee has gone and spent time individually with each of these, and we voted on our top 10. And this will set up our semifinalist list. There's also a list of 16 questions that once the semifinalist list is provided, is finalized, those 16 questions will go out to them. I was hoping to have the questions here for approval, but it wasn't sent out in advance. So I'm gonna actually ask that all the board members receive the questions, not just the executive search committee, and that they wordsmith it or whatever they need to do with it. Come back to Michelle for comments, and then Michelle will finalize the list of questions that will go out to the semifinalists. All right. That process will go on until approximately August 8th, which is Friday. All the finalists should have the questions back to HR on the 8th of August. The search committee, and again, I'm going to open it up, everyone, but the search committee will then review those responses, and then on post the August 14 finalist, August 14 board meeting, the search committee will then select a finalist list. I don't have the exact number, whether it's going to be 3 or 5, but somewhere in that category, because the final step, and if you notice, it keeps escalating the involvement of the board. The final step is that each board member then has a direct one-on-one conversation at your own discretion over a period of a month with those candidates. And then we'll come back on the 15th, the week of the 15th to be scheduled. And then all the board members then will have the opportunity to have a discussion. And
Excuse me, 15th of September?
the week of the 15th of September, give or take, it doesn't have to be that day specifically. Can't be before because I'm not here, but it could be later or be somewhere in that time frame. So somewhere around the middle of September, then each of you will have had the opportunity to have one-on-one discussions with a semifinalist, and then we'll come back, have an open discussion at that point. Names are open discussion, and then we'll select the candidate at the time. That's the process, gone from the very top through the bottom. Any questions?
Can we please have 5 finalists to talk to or meet? Because we already, on this list, a qualified list of maybe of your final 10, 2 of them we know very well.
Okay.
That are internal.
Yeah.
So I would like to speak with more than one other person from outside the organization if this goes narrowed that way. Like I would like.
I'm comfortable
5.
with that. I'm comfortable with that. The only issue is that it's 5 meetings you guys need to have with each candidate. I mean, there's 5 meetings each of you will need to have,
I mean,
and I'm
we-
perfectly fine with that. I'm okay. But it does add a little bit of more burden to the process.
I think it's worth it.
It's worth it. Okay, that's fine. All right. So when we get to the next step, we'll make sure that we'll get 5 out of the final list.
Because we have very qualified people. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I
yes.
look at the resumes,
Yes.
so, but it's gonna have more to do with, some people look great in paper, and then when you meet them,
This is true. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
and are we gonna, the people that are from out of town, are you planning on bringing them here, doing Zoom meetings?
No, I was hoping through the secretary to actually have either team meetings or Zoom meetings or telephone conversations, and if the candidates want to fly in, they can fly in. It's up to them. I mean, we're not flying them in. But if they want to come in, that's also fine. It's going to be totally up to them. At that stage, I think each person needs to decide what works best. Each board member needs to decide what works best in there and how they want to reach out to the candidates. Is that fine? Got it. All right, so again, we're kind of playing a little bit here on the fly here because we have a list of finalists. And it's those that are 3 and 2s. All the 3s and all the 2s add up to the 10 finalists. Again, at my discretion, is there anybody on that list of 10? Those are the 3s and the 2s. Anybody on that list that you guys are not comfortable with for whatever reason, because you know them from a different world or whatever. I'm comfortable with that process also. Do we need to veto anybody on the final 10? No? Okay. If that's the case, then I'll need a motion then to approve the final 10, which is all the 3s and 2s, all of it.
I motion to approve the final 10 list.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Any further comments? None being, roll call that?
Sure. Board Member Pages,
Yes.
Board Member Perez,
Yes.
Board Member Blanco.
Thank you. All right. Any other, that concludes it. We'll get the questions out to everybody today. We'll get them out today. Today is what, Wednesday? Try to see if we can get them back by Friday so we can get the questions out. You'll notify the 10 that they're finalists and they'll get their questions, right? I guess you'll also notify the other, oh, you don't have to notify anybody else. No, okay, that's fine. That's fine. By the way, I want to congratulate Michelle and her team. She did a spectacular job of managing the process. It was a very scrutinized process by many parties all over the world, but it was she stuck to her guns. She had control of the process. She knew, and the list that came up was actually a very good list. So
Thank you, Michelle.
we honored the intent of the legislation, which is a national search, and we did that indeed. So that was good. All right. Any other questions? Any other comments of any kind?
Thank you for your leadership, Chair Pages.
No, thank you. Thank everyone. I enjoy working with all you guys. So I know we have a lot of work to be done, but I want to get this interim director and this executive director issue resolved. All right. If there's no other comments, we'll adjourn.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.